Great win on a Sunday to be able to secure the series against a quality opponent at home with great fan base on Kids Day and Autograph Day is an awesome day.
Coach, pitching-wise, you threw two out there. First time Tech's been shut out all year, so just talk about how well you guys coached.
Carsonus has been excellent consistently the entire season, regardless of role. He went 7 innings, 5 hits, 7 strikeouts, 0 walks. He's got a 1.59 ERA on the year. I think just the numbers themselves, they speak for themselves. But the kid, the personality, the persona, the confidence, the want-to, the desire all match up with the ERA and the number. One of the best seasons being put together since I've been here in 10 years from Jack Carsonus. He really likes to compete in the moment. It's almost every week right now where you just know that it's going to be a fight. Like, he's going to go into the game and fight for the Mountaineers with everything that he's got. And so as a coach, you can't ask for anything else. Whatever happens, happens, but you really know what you're going to get from a personality and compete standpoint. And then Estridge came in. We actually got Chase Meyer hot in the 8th. We really liked Meyer in that situation to start the 8th with 1, 2, 3 coming up with Chase's swing and miss stuff. We thought we could neutralize the top of their order with Meyer, and then we ended up taking the lead on the Gavin Kelly double and then the Kyle West homer for 2 more runs. Then it was 5-0, and so we put the ball in Carson Estridge's hand just because he's been a premium strike thrower all year. He's got 42 innings and 11 walks, so we really like the matchup being up 5, just forcing somebody to beat us and not having any free passes. So we went with Stridge, and he was great. 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs.
Coach, you said earlier about the gamble you guys took taking Jack coming off the surgery. He just sat in here and kind of gave us some more detail that he wasn't even really able to throw until like around Thanksgiving. So obviously it's a big gamble. What ultimately kind of led you to push the button? I'm bringing him here.
His experience starting, relieving. I have a personal friend that's very close with Jack. His name's Chase Rowe, and he works in amateur baseball in the Pittsburgh area. And Jack played for Chase Rowe throughout select baseball in the summers. And so he's kept up with him throughout his career at Kent. And so when Jack went into the portal, I called Chase and said, what's the scoop on this guy, like I do hundreds of players every summer. And because I remember Jack being in high school playing for Chase Rowe, but at the time he wasn't at a point where he could pitch at WVU. And Chase said the guy's an absolute warrior, animal. The success that he had this year was while he needed surgery. So for the last 6 or 7 outings of the season, Jack knew he needed surgery and was going through extreme pain every time that he pitched and continued to do it. And so I watched and I said, the stuff's good, but not great, but his arm wasn't in a healthy spot. And then also some of the information and data and resources that we have here, we thought we might be able to change his fastball profile a little bit. He would throw a sinker on accident. He would throw a ball that had a little bit more ride occasionally, but for the most part, Jack threw what we call a dead zone fastball, which very limited movement. And we thought that we'd be able to change that and make him even better, and I think we've done that.
He's a kid who started off his career in D3, worked his way up to Kent, missed a year with injury, got injured again, surgery. Now he's doing what he's doing. How do you characterize that journey? I mean, to me, that's one hell of a journey.
Just prepared for anything that comes his way for the rest of his life because he's been through all that. He basically has decided that he's going to work hard regardless of results. He's going to stick with it. He's going to get through adversity, and he's going to try to be part of teams and help them win as long as anybody allows him to do that. And so he hasn't turned that off. That's been his mentality for years. And I think, like anything, if you stick to something long enough and you refuse to quit and you continue to battle, eventually you'll probably reap some rewards from that mindset and those kind of characteristics. And that's what Jack's doing currently, just because I think in his world, he's probably living his best life, going from the D3 to Kent State to injury to surgery to being on a really great team and leading a great team and winning games in the Big 12 and pitching in a $30 million stadium in front of sold-out crowds. He's loving life. And so it's just fun to be able to see some kids reach their dreams or to enjoy baseball at the fullest after he's gone through some hell in his career for sure.
You started him off on the season as a reliever, closer kind of role. Did you always picture him kind of transitioning into a starter? Or?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was just throwing him in spots that I thought he would be successful. And as we continued to do that, his pitch count got up a little bit, and we moved Carson Estridge to the Sunday role, and Estridge wasn't pitching as well as he had as a reliever. And so Carson Estridge pitched good as a starter, but not great. And so we're like, man, we have this guy who is so good out of the bullpen, but we're using him as a starter. If there was a way to have a better starter in there, and we had built Jack up a little bit, and Jacob Garcia, our recruiting coordinator, first base coach, he's actually the one, because I was naming off pitchers and like, could we give this guy a ball really on a conference weekend? And Garcia said, what about Cart? I was like, well, the 23-year-old with starting experience that wants to win really bad and is now healthy for the first time, maybe we give him a shot. And even if he goes 2 or 3 innings, we now maximized what he was able to do, because it always felt like maybe we have this great pitcher, but we're leaving a little bit in the tank each week. And so we said, well, maybe we'll give the ball to Jack and see how many pitches he can throw, and then at least we know that we're throwing our best arms for the most bullets per week. And so we've got to give Jacob Garcia credit on that one.
Steve, you lose back-to-back games for the first time with the first loss yesterday. Were you kind of curious how the guys would respond and what they've done over the last 2?
Was that the first time this season, back-to-back? I didn't actually know that. No, I think I'm past wondering how they will respond. I think in the coach's role, you always think you have a big piece of how they're going to respond. So it's more of like a search for like what we need to do, how to frame the situation, what we're going to talk about before the game, who you're going to reach out to. It's a consistent and constant thought that fully consumes you from the second you wake up to the second you go to bed, essentially. And so I think I always believe that they will respond and that they're capable of responding, and they have obviously done nothing to indicate otherwise. And so you don't ever expect it, but you're not surprised by how they respond, which is special. I mean, after the first game being kind of a mess, to win the second game and then to probably we played our best baseball today, cleanest baseball, was really encouraging. It felt like we were going in the right direction. And even though we've been winning, those UCF games were just dog fights and kind of stalemates and like felt like grindy, and today felt a little cleaner, like how we had played maybe earlier in the conference. And so I like the direction, the trend, at least today.
Coach, obviously with the series win, you're maintaining your lead in the Big 12 standings. Do you talk to the team about that as you're going down the final stretch here?
No, we kind of the opposite. Talk about today specifically. We talked to the team about not trying to hold on to anything. Like, they put themselves in this situation, so they should be proud of that. And it is every season has a situation. You could either be fighting to make the conference tournament, you could be fighting to host a regional, you could be fighting to win a Big 12 championship, you could be fighting to make the team next year because the team's in such a bad spot. There's a million situations you could be in on a team. This is just one of them, and all of those situations, unless you let go and get better and focus where your feet are at and play clean baseball, they always turn out negative, basically. And so we talked to the guys today about relaxing, taking deep breaths, resetting. As soon as you try to defend something that you are not the owner of, you just get your ass kicked. is the truth. Like, try playing anything at a high level, tight, tense, and it's no fun, first of all, and you're worse. And so, like, the only option really is, like, weirdly to not care and not put yourself in that mindset and just recognize, like, how cool it is that we're even in that situation to begin with. And it's hard, like, it's hard for me, let alone 18, 19-year-olds. Like, every fan, every guy's like, hey, you got this coming up. Hey, we want to host. It's like, yeah, everybody like that, right? Like, like, yeah, we got it, right? And so you have to put yourself in a situation where it's just like you almost drown out the noise and say, you know what I want to do? I want to eat a nice meal before I go take BP and land on the barrel, 20 times and see if I can win a pitch. Like, you have to, like, go super, micro. If you start going macro on this thing, you're screwed. So that's how I see it.
We were wondering earlier, talking to Kyle, who's in charge of grabbing the balls off the performance center?
I know.
He put one up there. I mean,
That was so cool. We talk about sometimes offensive saves or offensive closes, and that's what that felt like. Kelly, I felt like a genius because Kelly went down 0-2, and I called an offensive timeout because Meyer was warming up in the pen, and he hadn't had enough time because Jack was done, and so we had to quickly make a pitching change. So I was just calling timeout to give Meyer a little extra time in the bullpen. So a little bit Bush, like their pitchers kind of cooking, and Gowns 0-2, 1 out. And I was like, I'm just going to take advantage. We have an offensive timeout left. And then Kelly wraps a double down the left field line, which was awesome, kind of got us going, and then gets to third on the pickoff that was thrown into center field. But Kyle West swings at the first 2 changeups and does not look good on him, overswings on a good changeup. But then he takes 2 consecutive changeups down, so really stuck to approach and made an adjustment in the at-bat, which was awesome. And then he landed on that ball that was hit so hard. I mean, that ball was absolutely crushed, and so that was kind of the offensive save, right? It's a 3-run game, but then you make it a 5-run game, and you basically deflate the other dugout there.
Not using Meyer in the series, do you want to get him some work maybe Tuesday, or is it good to get him a little bit of rest at this point?
That's a good question. We haven't been in this spot with Meyer a ton. He's so valuable to the team and has won so many games for us, and is certainly like one of the major horses out of the pen. And so I even talked to him after the game. I was like, man, I know you wanted to be in there, and I wanted to put you in there. Just circumstantially, it didn't make sense today, and so I need to have that guy over to the house for a steak dinner and get him going. Tuesday, I think it would make sense to get him maybe an inning, whatever maximizes him to be ready to win a game and throw a lot of pitches on Friday would be the goal. And so probably get him a touch on Tuesday, I believe.
You were talking earlier about the situation, position you guys have put yourselves in. I mean, you've been around college baseball a long time, and I was asking Kyle about this earlier. When you kind of break everything down, you had to rebuild the pitching staff this year, really, outside of a couple guys returning. You lost one of the program's best players in JJ. New coach, new assistant coaches come in. And how often does the story get written that situation turns into the situation you guys find yourselves in now?
I don't know. I guess this situation is my situation, and so I don't ever think about or look at how often or what the odds are. It's always been about, we need to make this situation great because we're involved in it. And so we are proud of what we have done. We have a lot of people on this staff that really enjoy working. That's kind of been the common theme for the people that are inside these walls, and that it's not necessarily result-oriented. So there's a lot of staff members that don't fall victim to that relief syndrome. We've done this, or we've qualified for this, or we're gonna do this, or we've made it here. You have a lot of people that are wired that regardless of what is happening around them, they feel, they feel like they need to go to work every day and they need to get better. And I don't think that's going to change regardless of results, and I think that's why we're in the position that we're in.